back. I hope y'all can hear me. Good afternoon. It's Friday's Eve. And I hope everybody's having a wonderful afternoon. Welcome into the room. If you are a woman in business that, I don't know, you just feel like there's something missing and you want to kind of gather it, get it back together, that is what this live is about. This is a conversation between people who are tired of building things that don't fit them. That's what I do. I create self-discovery products for women in business who want a deeper connection to the work that they do. And if that's not you, scroll. So how many of you are working hard and still feel like something is off? Like you're doing all the things and still feel empty? That's what we're talking about today. Um, we automatically always think that it's laziness. It's not laziness. It's just misalignment. And we are going to get into that right now. So when you leave this live, my mission is to help you to have clarity around why nothing is sticking, right? Why nothing is working. And this is a talk back live. If you feel something that I'm saying, say it, right? If you feel seen, say it. We in this together, one band, one sound. And I'm about to drink me some coffee. 1 second. I know it's like 1 in the afternoon. I'm still drinking coffee. I don't know. In any event, I'm going to share something, and it took me a long time to say it out loud without feeling like I owed somebody an apology for it. Am making 6 figures, good title, respectable career, real money, and my bank account as an IT manager, IT project manager. And by every measure that the world hands you, like I did it, right? There's just a part of me that I don't like to say it, but I was miserable, like miserable quietly, professionally, and consistently just miserable. And the hard part to admit for me is that I knew I wasn't fine, right? But when you have people who need you to be fine, you perform your fine is fine. Like everything is fine, even though it's not. And for me, years of poverty and welfare and Section 8 is like you get to a point where you have this quote unquote lucrative job. Most people would say to themselves, well, it doesn't matter how I feel about it. I am just going to pretend so that I could just collect this check. Um, and in doing that, you perpetuate trauma. Um, you realize that you are not dealing with your wounds. You are not dealing with survival patterns. You're not dealing with the stories that you're telling yourself. And this is a very specific skill that we all learn if you come from poverty, if you come from a place where you don't have a lot, where you are just in a place. Um, and it's the skill of making anything work, right? Like you get good at adapting, good at enduring, good at finding the bright side of everything. Even though it's draining the life out of you, you like, you know what, I'm cool. It's cool. Everything's cool. And you call it strength. And in a lot of ways, like it is strength, right? Survival is real. And when you can do it, standing on top of your head, um, with children, with all of this stuff going on, it is really a badge of honor, right? When you could just do stuff and say, I'm strong. And I think I did that for many, many, many years. And it kind of felt like winning in a way, but I realized it was just coping at a high level. Unhealed trauma doesn't always look like falling apart, right? Sometimes it looks like a six-figure salary. It looks like I'm winning. Um, and it also looks like Sunday night dread that you can't explain to nobody, right? It's just Sunday and you got to go to work the next day, and you're looking out at your week like, what, like, is this my life? Like, for real. Like, I'm just clocking in, getting this check, and and in a way, again, I felt like I was winning. In other people's eyes, it looked like I was winning. Um, but I knew that I wasn't winning in a way that mattered to me. Um, and when you grow up learning to take whatever you can get, or like when you come from that poverty place, you carry that into every room, right? You carry that into your jobs, and you carry that into your business. And anything we'll do is not a business strategy, right? It's a wound wearing work ethic. Like, you doing all this stuff, but you're doing it out of survival, and that energy from what it's just never worked for me. Like, I wanted it to work for me. I feel like I'm resourceful, right? I feel like I'm scrappy. I feel like I got it. And I was like, I'm gonna do that in business. And the only thing was, the anything will do thing, it will have you saying yes to clients that you don't really like, right? Building offers that seem safe instead of what seems true to you, right? Staying in niches that never fit because leaving feels like risk, and risk feels like danger. Or it keeps you straddling between a job that you need and a business that you really want to build. Um, and again, you can't import that energy into your business. And again, like I said, I tried it. I thought, like, I mean, it'll work, right? Like, I can do this. I can do it this way. And every time I noticed that it didn't work. It didn't work, not even once, not even like a little. And that kind of survival energy, that kind of, let me just get this done. I'm a warrior, right? I'm a rock star. Like, it works until it doesn't. Thank you for joining live. Drop some hearts, comments. Again, if you feel seen, if it hits, just let me know. And thank you for supporting Alive. Right. So I spent a lot of time thinking that strategy was my problem. Right. My niche, my content, my offer, my consistency, and it just wasn't any of those things. I was building a business the same way I had been surviving my life, right? By shrinking myself to fit instead of building something that actually fit me. So if you've been wondering why you keep starting over and nothing's sticking, why effort doesn't match your results, and why you feel like you're doing everything right and still feel empty, it might not be your tactics. It might be that somewhere along the line, you learned that accepting less than what you need or what you desire is okay, right? And that lesson follows you here to the way you're building your business, the way you started your business. And the good news is it's not permanent. It's not who you are. That's just a pattern, right? And patterns can change. And that's what this work that I do is all about. It's about no longer perpetuating trauma, no more building from survival, and no more abandoning who you are for the promise of wealth or the promise of whatever. Because that leads you to collapsing your standards. And that's why I call it collapsing standards. And what happens when you build by chasing, when you build by shrinking yourself to fit, is that number one, you collapse your standards, and you build things that have no meaning attached. You build things that you don't even care about. And this is when you end up doing weird things in weird places with weird people. And you won't even know how you got there. When you have no values filter, no passion, compass, no sense of what actually fits you. You say yes to everything that pays, and everything that pays is not everything that's for you. Like my husband always tells me, all money ain't good money. All money ain't good money. Money is a terrible North Star, right? Because it will take you anywhere, and anywhere is not a destination, right? It's kind of a warning because you don't know where you're going to end up when it's just a chase for money. And without the right filters, you skip the questions that actually protect you. Like, does this fit who I am? Does this align with what I value? Could I do this when it stops being shiny? When I stop getting excited, when it's not exciting anymore, will I still show up? Right? Because what I've learned as it that if money was a great motivator, you and me would already have a wealthy $1 million business, right? If money was that type of motivation. Um, if you'd have told me that years ago, like, nah, like, of course, money is a good motivator because I want money, right? Like, I want it. So it's motivating me. It's not because if that was the case, you would already have it, right? So it's not a great motivator because I've wanted money, you've wanted money. Um, I didn't start a business or I'm not starting this business because I'm bored, right? I want financial freedom. I want to be able to provide. I want options. I want out of the situations that are draining me. I want out of the jobs and just all of that. Everything that I don't want to do to make money, I want out of that. So I know I want money. The wanting is real, the desire is real, but yet here we are, still building, still grinding, still trying to figure out why the effort isn't matching the result. And here's the thing about that. You think you're motivated and you think it's about the money, and so you run towards that, right? You run exactly towards that. And then you find out that even though you've been motivated about money for months, for years, right? You wanted it, you visualized it, you put it on your vision board, you prayed about it, you cried about it. It gets you started, but for some reason, it doesn't keep you going, right? And that's only because motivation is just a feeling. It's a feeling, right? It's not a foundation. Motivation shows up on Monday morning when you're fired up from like a podcast, a book, a friend, right? And by Wednesday, once your posts don't perform or you don't make no sales or whatever the case may be, you give up, right? So you don't have a motivation problem, right? You have a fuel problem. You've been running on a long distance race on a full tank of emotion and wondering why you keep running out of gas, right? And what money is an outcome, right? It shouldn't be the driver. Money is what happens after you build something aligned. It is a result of the work, right? It's not the reason for the work. And you think about a lot of people that you know that you watch have thriving businesses. I follow a lot of women that have thriving businesses, and they talk about money as an outcome, but what you hear most from them is the reason why they do what they do, right? The the problem that they're obsessed with solving, right? The people that they can't stop thinking about, the people that they want to help, right? That's what drives them, not the money. The money comes after they do the actual work. And for many, many years, that's not how I saw it. I said, I need money, so I'm gonna do this business, right? And that was it. And but money follows meaning, right? Not the other way around. So when you lead with money and skip the meaning, you're gonna build something hollow. You're gonna build something that does not have a foundation. You're gonna build something that you hate, right? Something that is gonna drain you, and you're just gonna quietly stop showing up, right? And it may look like failure, but it's not that you failed, it's that you built on something that wasn't real, that didn't have any meaning for you. And that's just one of my missions as being a self-discovery coach and creating the products that I do. It's helping women who want to build meaningful businesses to do it in a way where they do a thorough a thorough examination of who they are, what they want, what they need, how they want to impact, gathering things from their past, uh, focusing on or narrowing down things that really, really excite them. And that's why I do what I do because, I mean, what else are we doing out here? So I want to give you permission to stop trying to want money harder. Stop trying to manufacture urgency around an outcome and start getting clear on the identity behind it. The woman who builds, the women who build the most aren't money hungry. They are most self aware. They know who they are, they know what they're building and why they're building it. And the money shows up for people like that because these type of people, they're not running on motivation, right? They're running on clarity. They're very clear about who they are and what they offer. They're very clear about what they want to offer. Even if someone says, oh, well, I think you should, it's an immediately no. Like the more I get to know myself, the more I get locked into who I am, what I'm about, what I feel in my body, even when I approach certain opportunities, immediately, immediately, I know if it's a no or a yes. And I don't feel no way about it. I don't feel like I should. I always, like now, especially with one thing about wanting to build something, if you are a Proverbs 31 woman and you are trying to build something and you desire to build something, to provide, to be that, that inspiration in your family, especially for other little girls, women under you, you are always presented with opportunities. You're always presented with things you can do, right? Everybody and a mama got an idea for you. You should do this and you should do that. And I never say don't listen to anyone, right? The cardinal rule, honestly, is don't listen to people. Don't take advice from people whose life you don't want, right? If you want their lives, they're good to take advice from. If you're looking at their lives, so it kind of is that shrewd, but for opportunities that again cross your desk, opportunities that people present to you, a lot of these things are trendy. And one thing that I try to warn people about are trendy things, trendy opportunities that sound good, that sound like you can make a lot of money today. And at the end of the day, it's not for you. All right, I'm gonna need to take a sip of water. Where's my water? And I'm sorry if I hear construction in the back. There was something in the back of my house, and it's getting a little noisy. I might have to stop my live and come back. But so, in speaking of getting to know yourself, I would like to introduce a framework of mine that's called Values, Passion, Strengths. There is a guide you can purchase if you like. You can work on this on your own, but I would introduce it here. And again, it's called VPS. It's Values, Passion, Strengths. It's you sitting down and kind of getting to know yourself on that level of what do you value, what interests you, right? When I say passions, I mean interests, and I mean things that you actually care about, and your strengths, which are your natural things that you were born with, things that you do that you probably don't think it's a strength, but it is. You probably don't think that it is valuable, and it is because it's in you and it's something that you can't help doing. It's something that you can't stop doing, even if you try to stop doing it. So, with that said, um, most people think that they know their values, and most people don't, right? They know their aspirational values, right? The ones that sound good, the ones that look good on a sticky note, but they have never actually tested them in real life. And your real values tend to show up in things that actually make you angry, right? Things that bother you. Like next time you get upset about something, right? Next time something triggers you, automatically say what value is being violated here. right? Simple things like that, like in real life, when something just is just like, it could be somebody, you know that somebody's lying. That means honesty is valuable to you. Not saying it is valuable to everybody, but if it really, really triggers you and you can see someone doing it and you're watching them in real time and you're looking at them like, really, then that means honesty is a value to you, right? Um, so, with that said, um, try that as far as a values exercise today. And then the next thing is your passion, right? Somebody at some point told you to ignore what you love, right? And just go for money, right? Because we need money. You ain't got no time to be thinking about what you care about, what you like it, and just you just need to get some money. And this is true. This is true, right? But however, once again, this is something that does not carry long term. It's I know it's fun to say, it's practical to say, but it just doesn't carry long term. Um, you start to wake up and have a robotic life because you're trying to make money. And then a lot of us don't make no real money at all. Like the money that we make is not even enough to live on. So it's just like you doing all of this to make money that you still barely making it. So I would honestly barely make it with something I actually like doing. I mean, if I'm gonna have to choose, because your one and only life, you can get money. You just the time that you wasted, the time you cannot get back. I'm 47. My first 46 years of life, done. They're gone. I can't recoup none of it. And to me, that is bothersome. That is bothersome for me to continue to uh, be to do things, especially for money, especially to live, that I just don't care about. Doing it with people I don't care about, in environments that I don't care about, right? We like to joke about that on the internet, right? There's posts about how people hate their job and, got these me. Yeah, it's not funny to me. Like, it's not funny to me to wake up every day and do things that I don't like doing, wasting time that I'm not going to get back with money that kind of, side, and then that's it. No meaning, no impact, nothing that I actually care about, nothing that I actually want to do or anything like that. Um, just kind of existing. That's unacceptable to me. And that should be unacceptable to you in your life. There should be more meaning around how you impact the world, right? And that's all I'm saying. Um, but again, with your passions, it's just what you're interested in. It's what you care about, and you should care more about what you care about. That should be something that's important to you. If someone tells you it's not, just do me a favor, just look at their life. Like if somebody say, nah, you can't just do things that is interesting to you, and look at their lives. Are they in a space where that translate to your life, where they're doing something that they love, where they actually have the money doing the thing that they love? 9 times out of 10, I promise you, it's not the case. They also hate their existence, and they want you to hate yours too. That's all I'm saying. Um, and then your strengths. Again, the VPS model: values, passion, strengths. You can go by the guide and do it along with me and my guide, or you can do it on your own. But it's basically identifying your values, identifying your passions, and identifying your strengths, and kind of putting all that together and just seeing where it's happening in your life and where it's just not happening, and how you want to bring those strengths into your business, bring those, do more interesting projects that you actually care about, and live according to your value system and stop violating your values. Because when you're violating your values, you are violating a part of your core self. um, and it wears on you. It wears on your body. It wears on your mind. It just wears on you to keep doing things against yourself. Um, so 1 second, guys. Okay. All right, I'm back. So again, identifying your values, your passions, your strengths, that's going to be a big deal. It's something I like to do, even though I've ran through my VPS guide already. I still like to look at things and look around me and just pay attention to what I like, what I don't like, what's rocking for me right now, what's really not, and just really starting to just pay attention to that. And that's all that I encourage anyone to do. Prioritize your passions, prioritize your interests, prioritize your values, and prioritize your strength. That is the only way you're going to build a business that actually means something to you. That's the only way you're going to execute in a way that fits who you are as a person. And that's the only way you're going to know how you can improve your strengths, improve the things that you are good at. Improve the things that you're not so good at that you want to get good at, right? Or pour into your strengths that you're really good at, and now you just want to hone them more, right? And it costs. One thing about it, it costs to keep ignoring yourself. It costs to keep ignoring who you want to be as a woman, who you want to be in your business, right? It's just very costly. And the biggest cost I see is just time. Like, you're just not going to get this time back, right? It's just going. It's going, it's going, it's going. And you're jumping in between business ideas. You're jumping from one trendy idea to the next trendy idea. Um, you don't know what you want, but you know what you want. Um, it's time to sit down. It's time to sit down and really start to figure out your your foundations, right? To figure out, well, if I'm going to build this business, or if I'm going to continue to build the business that I'm building, how can I do it in a way that energizes me? And mind you, it's all about energy. How can I do it in a way that energizes me? Who are the people that I really, really want to impact, and how do I want to impact them? Um, at the end of every day, at the end of every week, what will I feel proud that I've done? What will I feel proud that I've given to this world? Um, and that's all I guess encouraging you guys to go off and do today, is just to really start taking the time to get into you. It's time to study you. It's time to stop being in other people's business, right? One thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mind my business, and I'm gonna build my business. And that's just one of my battle cries. What you doing? I'm minding my business, and I'm building my business. That's it. Um, and I want you to, do that too. And again, I have the guide that you can use. It's up in the link. And again, it will guide you through your values, passions, and strengths. Or you can just sit down with a notebook and just really say, what do I value? Right? What pisses me off? Right? What excited me? What was the last conversation that pissed me off? What was the last conversation that excited me? Because you can get your values from there. Um, and those will be your aspirational values. The values that you actually have, knowing what you value now, I say a good exercise also is going to your YouTube, close out TikTok, like close them out, reopen them. What are the first 3 videos about? Or the first like what are you seeing in your feed? Write down everything you see in your feed, at least 10 things. Those are the things you really value, because those are where you click. That's where your attention is. Why is your attention in those places, right? And it's okay, right? It's okay. It's like, it's not a judgment exercise. It's a this is what it is exercise, right? Because I value different things myself. right? Like I have things on my feed, how to build wealth, entrepreneurship. I have women's health. Um, I'm in my 40s. I want to keep myself healthy. So if you go down my feed, I like a lot of funny, right? I'm God's girl, so I got some biblical stuff. I also like to read Black erotica. So, listen, it's many facets. I'm not, you know, I'm not just one thing, right? So it's a lot of things that, that you are into, that you already value, and you can see it by how you live your life already. Now, are those values going against your aspiration values? Probably, right? Some people value honesty, but they easily lie. That doesn't mean that they don't value honesty. That just means maybe they're insecure about who they are and what they're about, or insecure about the things that they do. So when someone asks them, or when they have to say something, now they come up with a lie because they're just not comfortable in their own skin. It may not be just they're just a liar, right? They may value honesty, they just may not know how to be honest, right? So I say all that to say you can look at what you value just by looking around at how you already behave. Again, things that piss you off, things that excite you, your feeds on any of these social media sites, because it shows you, like it's right there. It'll show you what you pay attention to and what you value. Your passions, again, what you're interested in. And when I say passions, it's not just passion without structure, because passion without structure is very messy, right? It's just, I like this, but there's no box for it. And then structure without passion is just a machine, right? It's just, you become a robot. It's like, well, yeah, I have all of this structure. I hate what I do, but it's very, very structured, right? Like it's very, very systematic. I have my systems in place. I have my employees, but I hate this shit, right? You don't want that either, right? So it's about putting them together. It's about putting the passion and the structure together. And usually, again, when I say passion, I mean what you're interested in. When I say passion, I mean what you care about. And why on God's green earth would you build something that you're not passionate about, that you don't care about? You don't care about the people that you serve. You don't care about the work that you do. You don't care about the products that you're creating. You're just doing shit. Um, don't do that. So yeah, like, and that's what I'm passionate about. I care about self discovery. I care about studying me so that I'm more equipped at making decisions that works for me, right? And these types of activities, this sitting down and pulling back and really like getting yourself together and figuring out what you want, who you are, it's a courageous act, because most people are not going to do it. Like most people, they're going to keep running, they're going to keep chasing trends, they're going to keep chasing the bag, they're going to keep, I'm doing stuff, and it just don't mean nothing. None of what they doing actually means anything to them. They just do shit. Those are not my people. Those are not my people. My people care. My people care about what they do. They care about who they are. They care about who they impact. And that is who I serve. I serve those people. And I'm happy to serve those people. I'm very proud to serve those people. I'm very proud to be that person. So um, that I think is all that I have for you today. I am trying to go live every day, and I just be over here at the house overthinking everything. But it may sound messy, but it's definitely very sincere. And I really, 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 really do hope that you got something from this live, that you got something for this information. Again, my only advice is sit down and really start to understand yourself more, understand why you're creating this business, why you want this business to work, how you want it to work, how you want to be inside your business, what strengths you want to use, and that's it. Um, and again, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you've been here for the entire live, if you've shared, if you commented, um, thank you, thank you, thank you for your support. And I might be back tomorrow if I don't overthink shit. Bye.